Worksheet D4, again in the Math Foundations, continuing on with fractions. We're going to start with adding and subtracting mixed numbers. It lets me move here. There we go. So when I add and subtract mixed numbers, again, kind of like on those ones where I subtracted those fractions, I like to line things up and down. If I'm going to take 1 1/5 and add 7 2/3, what I'm doing is going to add the fraction part first, and then I have to find a common denominator, simplify my fraction, add the whole numbers, and then combine what I have. So in this case, if I have 1/5 plus 2/3, just worrying about adding the fraction part, I have to have my common denominator. 3 and 5 don't have any common factors, so I multiply them together. 3 times 5 is 15, so 15 is going to be my common denominator. 5 goes into 15, 3 times 1 is 3. 3 goes into 15, 5 times 2 is 10. So I'm going to take 3/15 plus 10/15. I'm just adding the numerators, and I would get 13/15. Now, if I could rewrite that, I would, but I can't simplify it. It isn't lowest terms. It isn't an improper fraction, so I'm done with the fraction part. So now I just add the whole number part. 1 plus 7 is 8, so I get 8 13/15. Now again, when you're working with mixed numbers on your calculator, when you enter that in, you put the 1, hit the fraction button, the 1 on the top, hit the fraction button, and the 5 to do 1 1/5. So 1 fraction 5 plus 7 fraction 2 fraction 3. So 1 1/5 plus 7 2/3, and I should end up with 8 13/15, which is what I got for my answer. The second one, they did one in the form of a word problem. At least I have a little more room to write. Marston Real Estate purchased 144 7/10 acres of land on the west side of town. The company also purchased an adjoining plot of land that contained 42 1/5 acres. What was the total number of acres? So I have 144 7/10 as one of my plots and 42 1/5 as my other plot. So again, I'm going to start by adding the fraction part. If I'm going to add the fraction part, I have to have a common denominator. 5 does go into 10, so 10 is your least common multiple. So the 7/10 isn't going to change, but the 1/5 we need over 10. 5 goes into 10, 2 times 1 is 2. So 7/10 plus 2/10 is going to give me 9/10. Again, that is a proper fraction in lowest terms. I can't change it to a mixed number. I'm just going to leave it. So now I'm going to add the whole number parts. 4 plus 2 is 6. 4 plus 4 is 8. And so I get 1/86 9/10 for my answer. So on these ones, when you're entering them in your calculator, if you want to check it, you do the 144, hit the fraction button, 7 fraction tenths, plus 42, hit the fraction button, 1 fraction 5. And we get 1/86 9/10, which is what we got anyway. The next one there, during July, Hodges Manufacturing purchased the following amounts of gasoline. Week 1, 26 3/4 gallons. Week 2, 10 gallons. Week 3, 29 1/2 gallons. Week 4, 11 1/10 gallons. How many gallons did he make during the month of July? So again, we're going to add 26 3/4 plus 10 plus 29 1/2 plus 11 1/10. And so when we're doing all of those fractions, we need a common denominator. And so in this case, I need a multiple that 4, 2, and 10 go into. I like to start with the two bigger numbers. The least common multiple here would be 20, and 2 does divide into 20, so I can use 20. So 4 goes into 20, 5 times 3 is 15, 2 goes into 20, 2 times 1 is 2, or 2 goes into 20. Fix that one there. I don't know what I'm doing there. 2 goes into 20, 10 times 1 is 10. And 10 goes into 20, 2 times 1 is 2. We'll get the right ones there. So 3/4 is 15/20, 1/2 is 10/20, and 1/10 is 2/20. So if I add those, 15 plus 10 plus 2 would give me 27/20. 27/20 is an improper fraction. I need to rewrite that as a mixed number. So I'm dividing 20 into 27. Goes in there once with 7 left over. So 1 and 7/20 is what I get as my mixed number. So then I add my whole numbers together. So if I add this, I would get 10 plus 6 is 16, carry my 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 76. So I have to remember I'm taking 76 plus my 1 and 7/20. So my total then, 76 plus 1 is 77 and 7/20. And that would be gallons. Okay. And so again, if I want to double check with my calculator, I'm doing 26 fraction 3 fraction fourths plus 10 plus 29 fraction 1 fraction 2 plus 11 fraction 1 fraction 10, and I end up with 77 and 7/20, which is the same thing we got when we did it paper pencil.